Luna, where are you going? You're not gonna work on the car? Come on, we gotta go work on the car. Come on, let's go work on the car. Okay, some of you guys that watch, you remember when we took this manifold off, we had a problem getting it off. We nicked it in a spot, which I know wouldn't leak, but I'm gonna not use it. It has a couple, like right here, this issue, and a little crack that like right here looked like it's starting. I don't know though. And this thing always seemed like it had a bit of a vacuum leak in the intake, and this one came off the parts car, and I know for a fact it didn't have any leak at all. That car ran smooth, idle good. So I'm gonna run everything off of that. So we got that all taken off, cleaned up back here, ready to go. And we're gonna use a OBX thermal gasket, which you can't buy these anymore that I know of. I bought the last, I think 6 of them, but they may have them again, I don't know. I would like to check, buy a couple more if I could. But yeah, we're gonna run that sticker, keep the temps down on the manifold. And another thing to keep the temps down on the manifold is you got these coolant lines right here. They're on the throttle body. What we do is take one and wrap it around here, and then take the other one, wrap it and put it up into this port here, so you don't have nothing going into the ports of it. And that gets rid of that. What that is like an antifreeze that goes through. It's supposed to help better with warm up and yada yada yada. I don't know, but it's just it keeps everything real hot, you know, 180 some degrees. So you don't want that with your inlet temp. So get rid of that. That's what we do. We delete that. So basically all we're going to do now is just start slamming this thing together. We're going to put a new gasket in here, or a Felpro, that in there, and I'm just going to put you guys on time lapse and just start slapping this thing together, try to get it running. Okay, thermal gaskets on there. Really nice fit. You don't need any gaskets but that. That's just it. everything together, I went ahead and took this inspection cover off to make sure we got the right attention on here and make sure everything's going to run right. I used the lifters in this that were already oiled. I forgot to tell you guys about the oiling the lifters and how to prime them if you let it sit for a while. But if your head didn't sit for a while, you don't have to do that. Even when you do it, a lot of times there's still like collapse lifters, so you'll hear a lot of ticking up here. Now this one, everything seemed like it should be good. So if there's no ticking, we got lucky. But a lot of times with these type of adjustable lifters, they'll tick until the oil gets in there. Typically, just don't worry about it. Don't rev the shit out of it. I do rev mine a little bit with it when it comes up, just to, after it warms up for about 20 minutes, if it's still doing it, and then I'll shut it off, let it run for 5 minutes, shut it off, and I'll just keep doing that, and eventually it'll build those lifters back up. And if it never does, then you have to replace that lifter. But I figured I'd tell you that. So let's try to start this thing up. We got coolant in here. It's been bleeding, so hopefully we got, all it has to do is probably open, because it's been sitting here as we were working. Another thing, when you bleed it, make sure this hose is hot, and you know for a fact that your thermostat open. You know, then your fan will kick on and everything. I have a kind of a ghetto fan set up here. I have it on a switch, but I think I did figure out what was wrong with this, so we might put this back together to OEM, or just let it like this. I don't know. I got used to it like this and kind of like manual fan switches now. Kind of weird, but yeah. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully it'll start right up. Sounds good. Yes, it does. I will just let this bleed. Like I said, if yours happens to tick or anything, if you took a couple weeks or months, like I have, they might come down and you'll have that lifter tick. But it might be a little bit, but I don't hear anything in there. Normally they're like tit, 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 tit. It's real loud and they'll be at the top end. Like I said, they'll pump back up, but they don't, you have to replace them. If I ever come across a problem like that, I'll show it. I might even have a video like that back in the day. And we're gonna let this bleed. And it's just like I said any other time, let the bubbles come out. I usually jack mine up in the air, make sure your bottom hose is hot when your fan kicks on. And or if you don't have a manual or an automatic fan, you're manual like me, wait until that thermostat is open before you turn your fan on. Also, it's only 20 degrees, probably a little bit less than that now. It's probably like 15-ish, and it might be a little bit too cold for me to even run the heat. So I'm gonna run the heat for a while. If it doesn't open up in the thermostat, I'm gonna shut the heat off. But I'm gonna run it until I get heat, and then probably shut it off, because it probably won't get warm enough tonight. But there it is. It's running. Well, another thing I wanted to show, the belt's doing good. So that's good. I did shut it off, and the tension was good on it too. Same as what we had before. So now I can put that back on it. Wait for this to bleed out. The other thing I wanted to say is no leaking. We have no oil leaking through here. No oil leaking back there. And down here, there's no new at the bottom. Right in there at the bottom. No leaks on the gasket up top. Not over here in the moon. So before we had leaks everywhere, as you can tell. Nothing on the pump seems to be leaking. Looks like we tightened everything up good. If we have to, we'll put regular clamps on this. But everything looks good, running good. Final thing for me to check before I put this cover on is how much tension do we have. And we have about the right deflect, because it will get tighter whenever it's warmed up. So that's why I usually only do a 5, even a 6 millimeter, like I said, on that deflection. We have no oil leaks, no new seals, nothing going on underneath. So you guys can tell it used to leak bad in the back. Head gasket was leaking, and front seal down there I showed earlier, it's clean. Everything up here, there's nothing's leaking anymore. Literally the head gasket was leaking on this thing for a long time. I just kept driving it. So much needed maintenance, and it finally got it. Thanks for watching, guys.